guys, I am back for the first time in 4 years to do a makeup tutorial. I always loved doing Halloween tutorials, and I was so proud of this costume that I made all by myself that I wanted to come back and do the makeup for it and help anybody out who was going to be Wonder Woman this year for Halloween or years in the future. I am using predominantly drugstore makeup, all but 3 things I believe, and I am duping every single thing that her makeup artist used on set. This is really kind of cool to come back one more time. I want to thank some people that encouraged me to come back. I want to thank Andrea, Hazel, Laura, Sammy, and Jason, and my stepdad Kent. Thank you so much for giving me the confidence to come back and do this one more time, just because I was just so inspired by the costume that I made and the film itself. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. It's going to be a really long one, so sit back, get some cocoa, put on some fuzzy socks, and we will get right into the makeup. Love you. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is, well, first of all, moisturize your lips, put a lip balm on. The makeup artist on Wonder Woman started with the Chanel lip balm. I am using the Jack Black lip balm, so that's on right now, and we're just going to keep it on until we're ready for lipstick at the end. And now we're going to go into the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation. The makeup artist on Wonder Woman used a mixture of Armani Luminous Silk Foundation and the Chanel Vitalumiere. So we're not going to do that. My color is golden beige. I'm just going to pop some of that on the back of my hand, and using the AOA Wonder Blender, I believe is what it's called. This is a $1 beauty blender, and it is remarkable. But whatever you like to use, however you like to do your foundation, just fine. We're going to try to get as much coverage out of this as possible, but not go like overboard with it, because we're going to do a lot of concealing. Use a lot of concealer to kind of perfect the skin even more. So I just have a problem like right in this crease, like getting in there, you know, and making it blend. I'm going to swipe down the neck just to blend that all in and pounce on the face. Try to cover up my freckles as much as I possibly can. Now we're going to go into concealer. They use several concealers, and I think very sparingly, but they did use several different concealers. They used the Bobbi Brown Corrector, I think it was the peach one, Bare Minerals Complete Coverage Serum Concealer, and that's both for under the eyes, and then for spot correction, they use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I am going to be using the Collab No Floss Concealer. I really enjoy this concealer. I like it a lot. And we're gonna apply this like a YouTuber because I kind of want a really flawless face. So we're gonna go right here, out, and as you can see, I'm using it a somewhat brighter shade, but not like heavy, you know, heavy. Oh my god, I haven't done this in forever. Oh my god. We're not using a super light color. Not too different than your skin tone. Maybe like a shade or two lighter. Gonna go here, down the nose, right here. Then we're gonna go right here, under where your contour will go, just to define this area right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that on my eyes. I've been kind of like going sort of between primer and just using my concealer, and I've been finding that the concealer is working pretty well. So now we're going to blend that in. It used to be that drugstore concealers they were too slippery, you know, and creased too much, you know, to sort of use, in my opinion, as a primer. But these days, I think they're really good quality. So we're just going to blend that under the eyes. And like I said, that collab one is really good. And Sally Beauty usually, it's carried at Sally Beauty. They usually have pretty good sales, like BOGO sales and stuff like that. And you can always get the Sally card to get a little bit of a discount. Which I need to renew mine. But I haven't tried any of their other products, but I do like that concealer a lot. Now we're going to bake. I don't know what I've been fighting all these years, you know, with the baking, but I started doing it whenever I was practicing this makeup. And I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun powder for it. Holy crap, it works, especially if you have an oily skin and you need your base to really, really stay put and just wear like iron. So we're going to bake, and I'm going to use the sponge, same sponge, and press that powder right under the eyes, right up to the bridge of the nose, like this. Wherever I get oily, or I feel like my pores are very prominent, went too fucking far down. Of course, I swore in this video I wasn't going to, but I just did. Right under the eyes again, just like this. When I started doing this, and this is only just a couple, maybe, yeah, a couple weeks ago maybe, I was avoiding this area right here because I thought that it, you know, this was like for brightening. But then I noticed that the sides of my nose were getting oily, and that was the place where I didn't do this technique. So I'm doing the whole thing, and you don't have to do this. I'm just saying it's pretty good for oily skin, and you're going to be moving around a lot on Halloween or at your party or whatever, you know. So yeah. And I'm just going to take a little bit on my beauty blender and go on the eyes to set that concealer that's on my eyes. I'm just going to swipe it on. And we're gonna just hang out here for a while, and I'll be right back to sweep this off. You want to let this hang out for, you know, at least 5 minutes or so, just to let it really set your makeup really well and become one with the skin. So, you know, watch a YouTube video, you know, play your favorite murder podcast for a few minutes, whatever you want to do, and I will be right back. Okay, now that we've let our loose powder set for a while and really, you know, mesh into the skin, we're going to sweep the excess away, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild ColorIcon bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana. I think that even on, honestly, on deeper skin tones, this will work if you use it, like, just kind of pounce it in. Because I'm just using this because it has a nice creaminess to it. It has a nice sheen to it, but it's not a highlighter. So I'm just gonna, with a big powder brush, this is just powder brush from Walmart, and it's very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep away that bake. So, for the film, they did use a translucent setting powder, but only in areas where she got shiny. They didn't powder the whole face, and I didn't write down what that was. It was something fancy. For, their bronzer, they used, oh shoot, they used Oh, they use the Smashbox Lip and Cheek Color Venice Bronze. Ugh. Unbelievable. In the film, on the film set, the makeup artist used the Smashbox Lip and Cheek Color Venice Bronze Beach, which looked really shimmery to me, and also it's a cream, and I don't really do creams very well because I like a very set face because I am oily. So we're going to go into the Wet n Wild MegaGlo Contouring Palette Contour. Why? Contouring Palette Contour in the shade Caramel Toffee. We're going to go into the bronzy shade over here. And we're going to bronze up the face with a great big brush. And we're just going to go on the perimeter. We're going to leave the middle of the forehead alone and keep that highlighted, but we're going to go right into the hairline. We're going to go all down the side right here. I'm going to have to change my battery in a second. This isn't my camera, by the way. I'm going to do that after, and then under here. So I'll change out the battery after I bronze. Go all the way down. We're gonna hit right here, kind of below where your blush would go, but still on the cheek. Just like that. You can even kind of, just a little bit, like that. And we're not done with this product yet. We will come back to it. So I'm going to change my battery, and we'll be right back to contour and all the other stuff for the face. Okay, battery changed. I think we're good for a while. I have no idea. This is my stepdad's camera. Okay, so now we're going to go into actually contouring. We did a little bit of it with the bronzer, but we're going to do a little bit more precise contouring. So I'm going to take the Real Techniques contour brush. It's a dome-shaped brush like this, and I'm going to go into something that you can find at Dollar General, which I fell in love with. I use this more than my Kat Von D Shade and Light shades anymore. Like, I really love this. So this is the Broadway Colors Contour Artist Powder. On the set, they used the Tom Ford Cream Contour. Listen, they had money. So this is $5, by the way. I love it so much. But this contour shade is awesome. I moved my mirror whenever I was changing the battery. Okay, so we're just going to go back here. And I'm going to go a little bit higher than what my contour generally would be, just because her face is shaped just a little bit differently. So we're just going to go just a touch higher, and we're not going to go all the way down, you know, we're not going to make it too far down. So just right here. I'm going to hit the temples right here, because I do have a hollows on my temples, and I like to kind of accentuate those. That's just me. You do not have to do that, but it's just right here. And if you think that you went a little too heavy, you can always go back over with your powder brush, obviously, and correct anything that you think that you might have done a little bit heavy. Ooh, Now I'm going to take the Eco Tools. They probably still, but this is like an old brush. This is the Eco Tools by Alicia Silverstone. It is shaped like this. Kind of like a doe foot brush, and I'm going to go into that same contour powder and do my nose. So we're going to start, you see where that shadow is on my eye? We're going to start there. Just like that. We're going to follow that shadow, and we're going to go all the way down. I really kind of just focus on the tip the most, because that's where my nose widens a little bit. Filipino. Just like that. Just like that. Tip. V shape, just like that. I think we're good. And then you can even go right under the lip in kind of a C shape, just to make your bottom look up a little bit powderier. Alright, now we're going to move on to blush. Okay, so they used the Stila Convertible Color Cream in the shade Lilium, which is kind of like a mauve-y shade, and I didn't really have anything in my collection that was similar. So I'm going to combine two NYX powder blush shades. One is in Raisin and the other one is in Angel, so we'll kind of get like the same result. And I'm using an EcoTools. This is probably a blush brush, I'm assuming. I don't know. I've used it like a ton on my channel. And I'm going to load up both sides of that brush. And right on the apples of the cheeks. I don't really think you need to go that far back because you have bronzer going on. So right on the apples of the cheeks. And we're just gonna see where your cheeks are. We're going to go up like that. And since in the film, you know, she was quite cold a lot because I think it might have been like the dead of winter where they were shooting. You know, she's obviously going to have a very natural flush, like that cold, you know, flush to the cheeks. So there's that on. And then we're going to move on to highlighter. Now this is where I'm going to kind of stray away from the movie accuracy. I'm kind of going to go a little hard with my highlighter just because I think it's pretty and I kind of want it to pop, you know, on Halloween night. They used the Armani Fluid Sheer Highlighter in shade 1. I am using the Wet n Wild Highlighting Gold Bar in Holly Gold Head. What does that name mean? If you know what that pun is, like what that pun is referring to, please let me know because I don't... Holly Gold Head. So anyways, I'm taking a Real Techniques, whatever this is called. It doesn't have the name. Oh, there it is. Setting brush. Go into that. And back. I'm not going to go all the way forward. We're going to stay back here. Just like that. Do the Cupid's bow. I'm gonna go right here. And right here. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is also from Real Techniques. This is the base shadow brush. And I'm going to go into that and highlight my nose. So we're going to do the tip like that. Then we're going to take it on its side and go right down the center. And then right here. I kind of like the look of it right here. I don't know why. I started doing like a dot of highlighter right there between my eyes and I kind of liked how it looked. So there we go. Now, if you feel like this is, obviously you can use whatever highlight you want, and even if it is blinding, this is what you do. You take your beauty sponge or your powder brush and you just kind of gently tap over it so that it's not as blinding. And it looks a little creamier. So let me look really quick. The face is done. Yay! Alright, so we're going to move on to the eyes. I will get that all set up and we will move on to the eyes that are incredibly simple. So, catch you in a sec. Okay, for the eyes, I actually changed my mind. I was originally going to be using the bronzer shade in this contour palette, but I'm going to go ahead and use the contour shade in this one because it's just a, you know, obviously it's cooler toned and I think that that might suit it a little bit better. So we're going to take a fluffy brush, whatever fluffy brush you have. We're going to dip into that shade. And she didn't wear She only wore 2 things on the eyes, and I will give you, you know, what those are in a second. They didn't do this step, but I felt it necessary for my eye shape. You don't have to do this, obviously. If you have very hooded eyes, it's not necessary. We're just gonna sweep this into the crease. Sweep this into the crease, connect it with that contour that we did for the nose. And we're gonna go kind of halfway down the lid, actually. I hope you can see what I'm doing. It's subtle, but it's kind of defining. It helps define the eye if you don't have hooded eyes and you need something just a little bit extra. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to I do have a few things that they actually did use in the film. I have the, what is it? Oh God, I lost my place. The Shiseido Shimmering Eye Cream in the color Leather. This is just a cream eyeshadow. Your alternative, if you're doing all drugstore, is the Maybelline City Minis palette. If you want to use powder, obviously there are a ton of crayons at the drugstore and cream eyeshadows at the drugstore that are just kind of like a shimmery bronze, and that's really all it is. But in the City Mini palette, you can, and this is the shade Rooftop Bronzes, you can use this shade right here, or even this shade right here, or use a combination of these 3 shades, whatever you want to do. I'm going to take the Shiseido cream color in Leather, and on a flat brush, go ahead and kind of get some on the brush, tap it in, kind of tap it on the back of my hand so that there isn't too much on there, because she's not wearing like a lot. It's not a heavy look. It is not a dark look at all. And we're just going to go ahead and sweep that across. Oh, what's that? Okay. Sweep it across the lid. We're doing it in a slightly sheer way. We're kind of shearing this out. It is not at full, because this is at full, you know, full tilt boogie whenever you apply it like with a finger or something like that. But it's really just swept all the way from inner corner to outer corner. Take your finger, and that's it. So on the brow bone here, they used the, oh no, Chanel single eyeshadow in the shade Ivory, which I saw swatches and it looks like a highlighter, like a full-on you could use it as a highlighter. So what I'm going to be using is the Maybelline City Mini palette in the shade Rooftop Bronzes, and I'm going to use the lightest shade in the palette. And I'm just gonna, this one? Okay, I'm gonna take a brush, go in there, and I'm gonna go all the way down to where I started that contour shade. And then on a smaller brush, we'll take that in the inner corner. Not too harsh in the inner corner, not like Instagram, you know, highlight, inner corner highlight, but just, you know, sheerly apply that. Okay, now we can move on to eyeliner. This takes just a lot of concentration because I'm still not comfortable with liquid liner, but I do like this one. They use the NARS eye paint in Black Valley, which is basically NARS's gel eyeliner. I'm going to be using the Etude House Oh My Line eyeliner. This is a waterproof eyeliner. I really enjoy it. I like that it has a brush as the applicator and not a felt tip. I don't like felt tips. I have somewhat crepey eyes and felt tips always skip. So we're going to do this, and I'm not going to explain a damn thing. So, I need a moment. Actually, I am going to explain something, because I said it earlier, but that was before I applied the highlight. I think I'm going to cut that out. Basically, the eyeliner is very, very thin and has a very small flick at the end. Not even really a flick, it just thickens out ever so slightly at the end. It doesn't extend out, so there you go. I always mess it up. I always go way too thick because I'm awful. I think that's good. I think I did it. Let's see if I can do it on the other side. I can't. Yatta! I'm going to take a moment to myself and just congratulate myself because I actually did it, and actually I'm going to give you a close-up of it if I can learn how to do this. I'm going to give you a close-up of the eyeliner. So that's what the eyeliner should basically look like. Alright? I'm going to congratulate myself off camera. Just pat myself on the back a little bit. Gather myself. And we're back. I'm so proud of myself. This eyeliner, I can't even. I did it. So now what we're going to do is a little bit of lower lash line work. Again, I'm going to take that same contour palette that I used before, same contour shade. Take a little pencil brush. Go in there. They didn't do this either, but I feel like I need a little bit more definition. And it's going to be subtle, you know, but we're just going to kind of subtly put that down there, just like that. And then we're going to take a brown matte eyeliner, and they used an Elizabeth Arden pencil in the shade Espresso. I'm using Urban Decay Demolition. You can totally get the Jordana Made to Last eye pencil in Espresso Last. Espresso Last. Really? That's what it's called? It's the brown one. Exactly the same thing. And what we're going to do, actually, we're not like going ham on this. We're going to wiggle this into the eyelashes. Nothing in the waterline. We're just going to wiggle it into the eyelashes, and we're only going to do like half the eye. So just like this. Very subtle. And that's it. That's all you need. I just realized I probably look insane. Okay, and then we're going to take a flat, stubby brush and just kind of blend that just the tiniest amount. And that's it. Blend, blend, blend. And that's that. Keep this inner part very clean. Now for mascara, I am going to use one that she used and another one that they didn't use. They did use two mascaras. What is it called? They used the It Cosmetics Tightline mascara. You do not have to use this. Actually, Wet n Wild makes like a skinny wand mascara that you can totally use instead of this. And they used the Chanel Inimitable mascara. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Voluminous mascara in Carbon Black. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of use the Tightline, the It Cosmetics as a primer for my upper lashes. And just wiggle that from the base of the lashes and run it through. We're not sweeping them out to the side, we're kind of keeping them straight up and down. And then we're going to do the lower lash line very subtly. Not a lot. And only on the outside. Just to kind of keep that doe-eyed look. Now we're going to go into whatever mascara you want to use. And just coat them, give them a little, pump them up a little bit more. Her makeup artist did use individual lashes just in strategic places. I have them, but I don't have any lash glue, so there's that. So there's lashes. Now we're going to do the brows. If you're really good at brows, good for you, dude. I'm not. So I'm going to be using two things. I'm going to be using a spoolie and going back to my brown eyeliner pencil that we used on the lower lash line. I'm just going to kind of softly drag this through my brows, kind of hide that scar that I have. I don't generally like to do that, but for this look, I'm going to do that. This is just to kind of pump them up a little bit, make them just a touch thicker. Because she has much thicker eyebrows than I do. Which is not a problem because I like my eyebrows and I just screwed that up. Oh, I hate everything. I hate eyebrows so much. Generally, what I do with my eyebrows is once I'm done with all my makeup, I take a Q-tip, I dip it in makeup remover, and then go through my brows to get all the makeup off, and that's it. So now we're going to brush that through. You can go for a brow gel if you like, but I find that the Urban Decay pencil stays pretty well. And yeah, we're just brushing this through so there aren't any clumps of pencil in the hairs. Oh, I'm still filming. Fuck. Okay, now for the lips, which is kind of the final step, unless you're going to do a setting spray, which I recommend if you're going to be using as many powders as I did, just to kind of mesh everything together. For the lipstick, I'm going to be using the Smashbox, I believe it's called... Oh, by the way, if you need to know, for Gal Gadot's brows, her makeup artist used the Beautiful Brows powder in dark brown and the Anastasia clear brow gel. And you just saw what I just did. So now we're going to move on to lips, and this is the final step in the makeup process. I'm going to be using the Smashbox Be Legendary lipstick in the shade Primrose as my lip color. Any kind of rosy shade will work just fine. They use the Dr. Perricone No Lipstick lipstick. I bought that, and when I put it on, it looked hot pink. And then after a couple months, I opened it up again just to see, well, maybe I was wrong, you know, maybe it does look good, and it was moldy. So there's that. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to apply it on the bottom lip, smack our lips together, and shear it out with our finger. And then I'm going to add the Jack Black lip balm. That Jack lip balm. One last step that I forgot. This is totally optional. Where is a brush? I'm going to take... Ooh, that's not it. I'm going to take a brush that I had. The contour brush again, into the contour color. And my jawline. Now for setting spray. Where is it? I know I have one. Oh no, where'd it go? Why does everything disappear? I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Natural Finish Setting Spray. Generally, I would use a matte one. I like the Wet n Wild Matte Setting Spray, and I also like the the MAC Matte Fix Plus Setting Spray, but I find that it dulls the skin in a way. Like, even your highlighter, I feel like, I don't understand this camera. It stopped recording, like, right in mid-sentence, but I caught it. So, as I was saying, I find that matte setting sprays kind of can dull all the glowy work that you just did, and we do want this to look glowy, but we still want it to kind of stay in place. So we're going to go ahead and use the Wet n Wild Natural Finish setting spray, and kind of for two reasons, you know, obviously to lock it in, but also to make all these powders kind of mesh together and look more skin-like. So we're going to do that right now. Da, da, da. I curled my hair before this. I recurled it because it was kind of falling, and it's a little tight right now, but I'm just going to run my fingers through it and put the crown on, and you can see what this all looks like all together. But I am going to film later today with the whole costume on in the forest so it'll look really cool. But I'll be right back with the crown. Pro tip: wear something that zips or like buttons before you know, while you're doing your makeup, so that you can just take it off and not have to put anything over your head. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so that was my Wonder Woman makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm always there. The link will be down in the description. I'm just at danica.polly. And yeah, I doubt I'll do another one of these, but it was super fun to do today. Alright, bye guys. Thanks for the support.